All right, this is Josh Calvin, editor of Progress Illinois. I'm here at Netroots Nation with Dan Seals, Democratic candidate in the 10th Congressional District of Illinois.
Hi, everybody.
Dan, welcome. Maybe you can just first start off by talking about why you're here and what the Netroots community means to you. What value do you see?
Netroots means a lot to me. When I ran in 2006, I didn't have a lot of support from the Democratic Party. I couldn't even get my phone calls returned. And so long before they discovered my race, it was the Netroots that discovered my race and supported some of my progressive views. And that's a relationship that we've just continued to nurture over time. I want to see progressives have a strong voice, and Netroots are all about that. So that's why I came down.
Great. Maybe you could talk a little bit about, so obviously this is your second campaign in the 10th district.
Yeah.
How is Seals for Congress 2.0 different than the first time around? I mean, what did you learn? What new sort of approaches have you taken?
The biggest difference between 2008 and 2006 is that the desire for change has gotten even stronger. One of the things that we saw on primary day is that usually you'd see in my district about 40,000 Republicans and 40,000 Democrats vote in the presidential year. What we saw this last Super Tuesday was 91,000 Democrats versus 44,000 Republicans. The interest has been incredible. We see that the events that we hold, they're larger. We're seeing people come in for the very first time to express their views, and that's a good sign for us all, because really enough is enough, and there's only so many times you can throw your shoe at the TV when you see what's going on in Washington. And so you're seeing people come out for the first time, and that's what has carried our race to the next level.
And I'm assuming that are you sensing? I mean, the Illinois candidates obviously have a leg up in a certain sense because of Obama. Are you sensing that momentum and that enthusiasm is carrying over into your race?
Absolutely. I mean, Barack Obama is a great candidate. He has done wonderful things for giving hope to a lot of people who haven't had it before, which is one of the nice things to see. I mean, there's so much cynicism out there, but we're seeing a lot of new folks. One of the nicest groups that I think he has helped engage are people under age 25. We had an event a couple of nights ago where I would guess it would be well over 100 young progressives came out to express their views. And you know what? They were actually weren't all Democrats. We saw some folks who were Republican, who were curious, who came in and wanted to listen and wanted to share their views. That's the sort of thing we need more of in our country. I mean, democracy is all about participation, and when you have so many people who have stayed out of the process for so long, you tend to get the kind of policies that frankly we have in our country. So seeing this influx of new interest is tremendous for us, and Barack has a lot to do with that.
And are you at all concerned? Because I've talked to folks in the sort of Obama Illinois field office who've said that they're corralling folks to go to Wisconsin and go to Indiana and go Iowa and elsewhere. Are you worried about things being spread a little thin, or I mean, how is the volunteer enthusiasm in the district?
It's an interesting point. There's some co-opetition with the presidential campaigns. We saw in the primary that a lot of our volunteers were going to Indiana, going to Iowa. I went to Iowa myself, in fact, and some actually flew to South Carolina on their own dime. And so, yes, there is some competition for volunteers and, frankly, for financial support as well. I mean, Barack and Hillary were like two hurricanes that came through Illinois. Having said that, on the other end, now that he has secured the nomination, for those who don't have the wherewithal to travel out of state, they're turning their interest here. And so we're seeing a lot of folks who have been volunteering for the presidential campaign who've come back, a lot of new faces, and again, new faces, not just to our campaign, but to politics, who are coming and now volunteering for our campaign. So, different points in the campaign, it has been more challenging. In more recent times, it's actually proved to be a bonus.
That's great. And I just wanted to ask you, I mean, the news this week from an Illinois standpoint, I mean, one of the big stories was the unemployment rate going up 6.4% in May, 6.8% in June. What's your response to that? I mean, what kind of approaches are you interested in, once in office, to kind of stop this downward slide?
Well, first let me show you or tell you about what my opponent has done on this. He just voted against extending unemployment benefits because he doesn't think that employment is an issue. in our district, where he said employment is probably about 5.5%. Well, that has been the national average. Of course it's an issue. We are seeing people of all economic strata facing layoffs or stagnant wages, and when you combine that with the skyrocketing prices for healthcare, education, and so on, people are feeling squeezed. So I've been shocked by his disregard for this issue. As far as what I would like to do, there are a number of things. Number one, we need to make healthcare more affordable. Right now, the average household is spending $16,000 on healthcare, according to the New York Times. That makes it more expensive than housing in terms of what the average family is facing. Number two, the cost of higher education. We have an overly complicated tax code that makes it hard for people to take the right tax incentive. Why not simplify that so that more people can take advantage of it? Number three, I'd like to simplify our tax code in general. Right now, according to the IRS, there are about $300 billion that goes uncollected. Well, if we can simplify the code, it becomes easier to enforce, and those people who aren't paying their fair share now will start to. And that means you and I, who are paying our fair share, can actually pay less. So the result is you would see a $1,500 tax cut for people making less than $80,000, and if you're a couple, that'd be worth $3,000. I think these are the sorts of things that can help. By the way, it wouldn't hurt if we could get out of the war in Iraq, because we're sending ridiculous amounts of money into this effort.
All right, Dan. Well, great to see you down here, and thanks for talking to
Hey,
us.
thanks for having us.